Welcome to Wineline Radio. This is your host, Robert Scott, and we're here at the beautiful Chase Park Plaza Hotel, which is a Royal Sonesta, in St. Louis, Missouri, for the St. Louis Food and Wine Experience. And we have with us today two young ladies who are with the Missouri Wine Board. We have Annette Alden and Rosemary Frank. Ladies, nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, I appreciate it. This is my first visit to St. Louis, and I'm impressed. The hotel is absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me a lot of Pinehurst, where we've spent a lot of time. But today we want to talk about Missouri wines. Now, a lot of people don't realize that Missouri has been producing wines for many, many years. And it was it America's first AVA?
Yes, Augusta was the first AVA recognized in the U.S.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit about the history of Missouri wines.
Yeah, we've got some really great wine growing regions here that a lot of people don't realize. German settlers back in the 1830s settled in the Herman community and really built that up. And at one time, there was over 60 wineries just in Herman alone.
Really?
So you can imagine the amount of wine that was produced there. And some of the wineries that are still there today were winning awards in the late 1800s at the World's Fair for their Nortons.
Wow. And Norton unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but fortunately, I got to taste the Norton yesterday. And Norton, folks, is a grape variety, indigenous to Missouri and elsewhere, I would suppose. But it was unusual, but it was very elegant, and I thought somewhat sophisticated. We tasted it with a dark chocolate, which was absolutely a wonderful pairing.
Yes, a lot of people are surprised and pleasantly surprised when they get to try our Norton grape, which is also our state grape. And right now, in the month of January, we are celebrating Norton Month. And we like to do food pairings with it. And I think people are surprised by how food-friendly many of our wines are.
That's very interesting. We also tasted the sparkling wine yesterday with a sweet chocolate and caramel candy, which was really good.
Yes, we did have a Vidal Blanc based sparkling brut wine, and several of our wineries do make a sparkling wine, so we're excited to feature that and showcase really all the variety that can be produced with that grape.
Now, in the late 1800s, you had a lot of Italian immigrants that came over, and I assume brought some of their grape varieties as well. And that's kind of something that happened all over the country. So tell us a little bit about the Italian influence.
The Italians settled in the St. James area, and which is still a very prominent grape growing region. And they had a lot of Concord grapes down there as well. And the Concord grapes really lasted through Prohibition because they made a lot of the juice there for Welch's and had other contracts as well. So that kind of helped sustain some of the grape growing in Missouri throughout Prohibition. And then as we kind of got back into the wine growing post-Prohibition.
So about 1960, there was a resurgence of the wine industry in Missouri.
Two families, the Held families with Stonehill Winery and the Hofer family with St. James Winery, really kind of boosted the industry and brought it back and kind of gave it its kickstart to what it is today. And those are our two largest wineries in the state currently, still family owned.
Now, the Norton we tried yesterday, I believe you told me that it was from the oldest continuous or was that the
yes,
sparkling?
You did. You tried a Norton from Adam Pukta, and Adam Pukta is the oldest continually family-owned winery in the country. The same family that operated that winery prior to Prohibition still owns and operates that estate today. So you tried their 2010 estate bottled Norton yesterday.
So it had a little bottle age on it, which was nice. And does that wine see any oak?
Yes, that one did. I don't have my notes on me, but I can certainly get you that information about the oak and the different barrels that they use there.
Well, folks, this is going to be very interesting. Hopefully we'll be receiving in the near future some assorted wines from Missouri, and we'll get together with the Gang of Wine at that time and do a feature tasting. And so today in Missouri, what's the kind of the state of the wine industry?
Yeah, we're actually growing by leaps and bounds. So we have just over 130 wineries in the state. We have about 425 grape growers and about 1,700 acres of grapes. And overall, we have a $3.2 billion economic impact on the state of Missouri, which is pretty impressive considering a lot of folks don't even realize that we have such a great wine industry in the state.
That's amazing. That's a huge impact for a state this size.
Mm-hmm.
So it has great commercial applications, and that's why the state supports it. I would
Absolutely,
say.
yes.
So there's 130 plus wineries in the state.
Yes.
And 425 grape growers. And you sell about 1.16 million gallons a year. That's a lot of juice.
It is. We've got a lot of consumers that really support our local wineries and great wine enthusiasts, and they enjoy all the events. We have 11 wine trails across the state that host events throughout the year, and a lot of great opportunities to pair locally grown food with locally produced wine. They say kind of what grows together goes together, if you will.
You're right. You just stole my thunder, because that's the next question I was going to ask you, because throughout the world today, these wine trails are becoming very, very popular. And so you have 11 different wine trails here.
Yes, we do. We just gained a new one this past year. They're located across the state, so no matter where you are in Missouri, you can certainly find a winery that's pretty close to you. We've got some really great events coming up. There's one in the Herman area in April, the Farmer's Table Wine Trail. Each winery will feature a locally produced food, so they'll have beef, pork, vegetables. One will even be providing lamb. As many people don't know, lamb and Norton are a great pairing together.
I thought that yesterday. When I tasted Norton for the first time, I said, this has the kind of, there's a richness in it that has a slight gamey aspect to it.
Yes.
And I thought that would be really good with a roast leg of lamb. Or
You're exactly right. We do a lot of smoked meats, wild game, lamb, beef, even a lot of smoked or aged cheeses with that wine, but also dark chocolates like we paired yesterday.
Very interesting. And folks, if you're in Missouri and you want to, as we were just talking about the Herman Wine Trail, you can visit hermanwinetrail.com and find out all about the routes and what you can expect to find. And there's a number of wineries on that trail, and looks like it's a vibrant industry that's really developing, and regional wines are becoming more popular these days.
Absolutely. As people love to travel, sometimes they don't realize what's right there in their backyard. So there's so much that they can see and not have to travel too far, and such great communities that have really embraced the wine growing and the wineries here in the state.
Well, folks, if you're in Missouri, pick out a wine trail and have some fun. Meet some nice people and drink some good wine and pair it with some excellent food. And we just think that this has been a great experience for us. In 2006, I want to jump here. I've got some notes, folks. I'm not just pulling this out of my head. The Institute for Continental Climate Viticulture and Enology is established in 2006. It's now known as the Grape and Wine Institute. And they conduct research on grape varieties and vineyard management techniques that contribute to the growth of the wine industry in Missouri and generally through the Midwest. Can you tell us much about that?
Yeah, so the organization that I work with kind of has two arms, one kind of a marketing and promotion arm, and then we also have another division that really focuses on research. And the Grape and Wine Institute at the University of Missouri is our flagship school here in the state. And they do a really great job kind of experimenting with different varietals, looking at disease pressure and really trying to help the grape growers. They also do some consulting. So if someone wants to put in a new vineyard, they will help evaluate the area and look at all the different varietals and help them consider which ones might do best in that area. They also have a program that will help, evaluate the wines and do some consulting with the winemakers to improve the varietals. So it's a great opportunity to kind of give back and help out with our wine industry and improve the quality of the wines in Missouri.
Now, is that a state-sponsored organization? Or?
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm glad to see the state is putting some money into this, and we're going to talk about that at a later date in regard to what we might be able to do for the Missouri Wine Board in regard to GoWine.com, which has now become really the biggest wine knowledge portal on the internet. So we're anxiously looking ahead and seeing if we can get involved on a deeper level with the Missouri Wine Board. So, Annette, Rosemary, thank you so much. What we're going to do, folks, is we'll use this as a lead-in to the tasting that we do. So it'll be a complete program, and I think you'll find it very, very interesting. If you're in St. Louis or any place else in Missouri, do check out the members of the Missouri Wine Board. 100 and some wineries are nothing to scoff at. So,
Absolutely.
right. And if you're in St. Louis, hey, do yourself a favor and stay at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Rosemary. We look forward to tasting some more Missouri wines.